Let's do this.
Just like
I
WWE, we're going to be extremely unpredictable and start 15 minutes early just because we can do that.
Yeah, I feel like Vince McMahon right there, writing on that dollar. That's how I feel right now as we start the show. Or I feel like that dinosaur skull dead and not knowing it.
Let me ask this question. So he effectively retired, right? Since he does own WWE and they're moving out of Titantrons, does he get to keep his office or does he have to take that dinosaur head off the wall? Like, does that have to leave?
I'm sure
Well,
that
it's gonna be
office, if he leaves, that office is haunted. So I don't think anyone is ever going to work in there.
Well,
yeah.
because they're leaving Titan Towers anyway, right? So it's effectively this is the end of an era. This
This
was
is
like
this is a this is a complete end.
July 22nd, but I'm happy it ended with him retiring instead of him dying. But I mean,
Hold on,
it's
Eric. Hold on. Closest source to me says that I am not gonna make the show today. That I walked out in anger because if Vince McMahon is not doing wrestling, why the fuck am I even doing a show? So I have decided to not show up. I'm out. If he's out, I'm out.
well,
I
just
thought it
like
would have been your comment from yesterday's stream, where right at the end, he went, "Oh, behind my back."
oh, he said that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Marcus, the invitation
that's
was put
how
out there,
that's
but
how it ended.
let,
I
let,
couldn't do a show. I
let,
wasn't
let, let-
available.
no, let me tell you something. Because when I was in the comments texted, I realized, damn, this is a lot more dangerous than actually just turn on the camera and doing this. So I decided to go that route.
Why was it dangerous? What were you doing? Espionage?
No, I was trying
Someone's
to
gonna find out my true
no, I was
identity.
trying to type
Okay.
in the chat, and trying to type in the chat and drive is dangerous.
Oh, you were driving? Oh, you're horrible. I am. By the way, I appreciate your shoddy camera work. I guess we needed to see half your neck and that left titty of yours.
Yes, you
We needed to see
did.
that
You
because
did.
that's
He
all
did.
we saw. You really had nothing set up. The left
Well,
titty had a lot to say.
well, unlike everybody else, I don't have a car
Flop,
mount
flop,
in my
flop,
car.
flop, 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 flop.
Betty, just because Marcus Wilson fired shots already, although he said he had no energy because he's playing basketball and he's almost a 40-year-old man. Well, I don't know what he is. Almost a 40-year-old man, maybe. I'm not sure. Can you
I'm
just
in the
start the
prime of my
opening
life.
credits so we can
My
start talking
knees
about
are
retirement?
49. My knees are 49.
It's a new day. I'm Eric.
I'm lost.
And
Mr. Man,
I,
please
and
come back.
my surrogate father has finally left me, just like my real father. I just feel like saying that. No, he's gone. He's gone. Vince McMahon's gone.
I
It's
mean,
over.
I will point out, let me give a shout out to Vince McMahon for being the businessman that he is, because not only did he announce his retirement via Twitter, but he announced it 5 minutes after the stock market closed to protect the stock price of the WWE on July
It's still going to go
22nd.
down on Monday.
Hey,
Doesn't
hey,
matter
come on, come on.
because
Let's
right now,
let's not get this twisted. This ain't no retirement. This is a resignation, and you know it is. I
no,
don't want to hear this. This is a resignation.
this is a mass exodus right here, Marcus. I mean, Manny and I already spoke on it in our Jank kind of interview. We haven't heard from the grand finale. Marcus, where were you on July 22nd when the magical tweet indicating that at 77 years of age, I'm stepping down from the
Well,
WWE?
I would like to say I wish I was asleep at the time. I wish I was asleep. But I was at the public DMV where a bunch of people are, and I saw that thing, and I went, "What?" And then this is how tired I was, guys. I sent the text of Vince retired. Oh shit! And then all of a sudden I hear you guys replied. I'm like, "Ha!" They responded to my text. They respond, and then I look and I open it up, and I
You
go,
didn't
"I
even
never
send that
sent it.
thing.
I never sent that text.
And
I never hit send. I never. It just sit there. It just
And
sat
what
there.
people need to understand is that he was extremely salty that they responded to my text, not his text. He was. That's how competitive Marcus is sometimes. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Petty.
sick. It's sick.
He's
It's
the
sick,
prince,
right?
but remember, I'm the king of petty. Just remember
You're
that.
not the king of petty. You're
I
a
am.
disgrace of petty. You're the disgrace of petty. You're not petty enough. All right. Us here in the Palladium of petty. We decide the Palladium of petty. We decide how petty we get.
I prefer it to be like bling, welcome to the Petty Emporium.
I don't know how fancy you are. We don't have emporiums here in America, Manny.
There's no emporiums. There's no emporiums.
I just want to point out that I reside in the petty adjacent, and so you guys don't understand. You got to watch out where I'm at, because I'm adjacent to everything else. I'm adjacent to bitterness, spite, and downright destruction.
And fuck Jason too. I know it's not Jason, but fuck him too. Let me. I don't know. Adjacent. Fuck Jason.
Just adjacent. Just adjacent anywhere.
Adjacent. I said adjacent.
Yeah, that's here in the Palladium. We know. But I'm going to talk on this about this Vince McMahon pseudo retirement / resignation. Stuff is coming out this Monday, I'm assuming. But I knew I knew his ass was in trouble when they said, Brian Gumbel's doing reports on Brian Gumbel is going to get him. Brian Gumbel and his team will get you. They will get you. That would have been the death of him anyway. I am curious who they got in their interviews. I'm curious what's going to come forward. And again, every wrestling journalist, so-called quote unquote, that is going to report on this, they're all failures. I want to announce that you're a failure because it took the Wall Street Journal, Brian Gumbel, and Nick Khan to get Vince McMahon out, who's been doing dirt for many, many years.
The thing about it, the dirt sheets showed their failure with their stupid report that they were doing right after Vince announced his retirement. We'll talk about that a little bit also. But Marcus, do you feel?
They set him up.
Let me ask you this question, because I don't know if Manny has ever seen this movie, but I know Marcus has seen this movie numerous times with myself. Do you feel we're going to hear reports of Vince McMahon doing things like the movie in Disclosure, where Demi Moore accused Michael Douglas of, putting his dick in her mouth but not finishing the job? But he didn't finish the job, Marcus.
He had regrets. Okay. He stuck it in his mouth, and then he realized, nah, man, I actually love my wife. Fuck this. Fuck your blowjob, bitch. And she was upset. He did stick his feelings right, but you know what? If I was her, I feel like I would be offended by that too. I was willing to suck your dick, but how dare you not let me finish what I was doing? Okay, I was putting this up my best work.
Manny, have you ever seen Disclosure?
That's what I would have told you.
No, I've never watched Disclosure.
Okay, so then you don't know. But Marcus, though, we've seen this movie so many different times. I don't remember how
I've seen it that many times.
I think I've seen it more than anybody should actually see that movie, but for whatever reason.
All I know is that she tried to fuck him, and he was like, nah.
So do you think once Brian Gumbel completes his investigation, I'll turn to you, Manny, so we can hear a little bit. Do you think we're going to see people being interviewed that are blacked out? I don't think they can do that because of the NDA, but is there a possibility that they'll have people close to the situation talk about it?
I don't think you could interview anyone that signed an NDA, because then
you can interview him
unless he's going to end up paying him.
But that friend that know the friend, they could be on that show, and maybe it's not even anybody that signed the NDA. Maybe they got something really dirty on the man. They was like, oh, this is low. I didn't think this would even come up again. This is damn, that time I killed that polar bear for no reason. They got me. They got me on some shit. I had a fucking piano string and I jumped on that polar bear back.
In the chat room, the obsolete said, I gotta say, this is a damn disgrace. Women's wrestling is boring as fuck, and this represents the ultimate trade-off the industry has made. The greatest entertainer ousted over cheap hoes, shaking my head, and that's the bottom line. My man, that is one take. I actually find women wrestling quite entertaining, but everyone is entitled to their own opinion.
Yeah,
Marcus, what will you
women's
remember?
mud wrestling that don't count, Eric.
Marcus,
With,
with the ousting of Vince McMahon, do you see change happening in WWE?
well, I'm about to do my hottest take in the world right here. Just I was as I was dangerously driving to work after all this time with lack of sleep, I was thinking, of Vince McMahon, his whole career. I put his whole career in perspective, and I'm going to say this as a hot take. I don't think there has been anybody in any sports or industry that had a bigger impact in what they were doing than Vince McMahon had. And to the point where I don't see the WWE changing from his mentality at all. In fact, I think he's still shadow bossing. I don't see him leaving. I mean, what's Stephanie gonna do? No, Dad, you're wrong. I feel like she's gonna be like, nah, I'm gonna do so. We still see things like, the rumor have it that Vince McMahon did not like Max Dupree, so Max Dupree is not a part of Max McMahon.
But that happened a few weeks. He was petitioned to remove him for weeks.
Yeah, that's when they announced Maxine Dupree last week.
If this man
made him announce his replacement.
Hold on. If this man is out, and this man who has decided to step back more than a few weeks ago, why would Stephanie say, "Nah, I'm not listening to you. I like Max Dupree. I like me some LA Knight. I think he's great for this role." And Dad, shut the fuck up. I don't even think that's a thing. So I think he's still gonna be shadow bossing, and I don't think WWE's gonna change at all. Yes, they may get TV14, and you're gonna have people come back and say, "Oh man, I'm so happy Vince is gone, and I'm gonna watch the show." And since Vince left, it's gonna end for a little bit, and then over time, just the same way George Lucas left Star Wars, because I always find the fan bases connected, because neither one are ever satisfied with anything, no matter what they do. They're gonna go and say, the WWE was so much better when Vince ran it, and they're gonna turn on them again.
I mean,
what's the name of it?
Do you think with all how this kind of started this summer with Sasha Banks and Naomi, do you think now there's a slight chance that they may return now that the person that the real person they blame really was Vince McMahon? In the lead up to that, in that massive timeline of going back and forth between Vince and creative and whatever, do you think?
I don't know.
Do you think they come back now that the snake's head has been cut off?
Well, let's prove to Sasha Banks that we really care about tag team wrestling. Let me tell you what else happened this week. Cora Jade threw the tag team titles in a dumpster this week, and not a real good dumpster, a fake dumpster, because there ain't no real seasoned plate. That is that. I mean, those are some grandma cookies and a paper plate they found. And they said let's call this trash. This is outrageous. I don't think anything's gonna change. If I'm Sasha or Naomi, I'm going like, they ain't changed one bit. That man's still running the show.
I mean, Marcus pointed out something like Vince McMahon is one of those legends. He will be up there mentioned with the greats like George Steinbrenner, Jerry Buss, Walter O'Malley, all the great owners of past. But at the end of the day, I do feel that Manny saying that the possibility of Sasha Banks and anything, I think at this point, anything is possible because right now they have to make the appearance, even if Marcus feel that Vince is shadow operating, that he's not a part of it. So they have to start doing things that Vince would normally not do in situations, just to make it seem like it's a new WWE. I mean, Manny was a journalist and was applying to be part of the dirt sheet because he broke the first story of Tony Khan announcing that he is now the longest running CEO of any wrestling company.
But he isn't.
I know, because you have the guy from Ring of Honor, the guy from the Smashing Pumpkins.
You got a guy from Impact. You got Billy Corgan for the NWA, which I question, does the NWA even make money?
Betty, I would say that when they went behind the paywall, they stopped making money. That's why they went back to YouTube. It was like, hey, man, we got to do something.
No, they still have the subscription service you can pay for, but I don't think I'm doing that.
John Hendrickson said Vince McMahon is All Elite coming soon.
Oh man, I want the Vince McMahon podcast. Of everything that comes to this, the Vince McMahon podcast will be, and I'm going to sound like an old man saying, trying to sound hip, the littest podcast in the history of podcasts. If
It better not be with Conrad. I fucking hate that guy.
And
Oh,
El
I hate
Luchador,
Conrad with
El-
passion.
El Luchador, you are a hypocrite because you had said numerous times on multiple episodes, as soon as Vince was gone, you would start watching the product. You cannot wait to the road to the Royal Rumble to start watching. You have to start watching effective. You have 2 weeks before you get your affairs in order, and I expect you to start watching WWE programming. 2 weeks.
Get my Bears.
Get your
You
affairs
lies
in
about
order.
riding- He lies about how many miles he does on a bicycle. How do you expect him to get 2 weeks in order to start watching WWE programming?
Manny, I don't care. He has to figure it out. We've been waiting.
I expect you to get that Peacock subscription back.
I mean, this day he has touted this day on numerous occasions. Says, as soon as Vince is going, I'll be back. I'll be back. I'll be back. And I'm being generous with giving him 2 weeks to get his affairs in order. Because most people give him
2 weeks notice.
2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
What are you gonna do? You sound like your uncle giving Frank Vogel 2 weeks notice. These baseless threats. On what could you do? What could you do? You have nothing.
Marcus,
threaten me with.
I will show the man unmasked. I will show the man unmasked. That's what I would do.
That's what everybody does against any luchador. I'm gonna unmask this luchador. Who the hell do you think you are? This ain't AAA. Unless, but it does sound like you had been snorting coke on your dashboard.
So Manny, I don't know if you talked about this when you went live. What do you feel about the whole co-CEO of Stephanie McMahon and Nick Khan?
I don't think it's gonna work. I don't. Nick Khan has come into the WWE 2 years ago? He's risen to the top within 2 years. And I don't think he'd been sucking no dick to get there either.
Yeah, because he's been doing the opposite thing. He's been making a lot of fucking money for the company. When he went through the books, oh, Braun Strowman, bye. Bray Wyatt, bye. All these people, bye. And you know what he brought back in? Money.
I saw the coach tweet, Jonathan Coachman, say he gives it a year with these two running as co. I think by the end of it, Nick Khan's going to be CEO of WWE. I think within a year, I think Nick Khan will be CEO. I don't see them two working together well.
I doubt it. I can't see them announcing Nick Khan as the CEO. In fact, I believe the only reason they announced co-CEO because they wanted to have a McMahon on top. Nick Khan is 100% in charge right now, or other than Shadow Vince. I think Stephanie is there just to be a figurehead, and I think that's to bring goodwill and to keep the stock holders happy. And also, by announcing Triple H is back into talent relations to John Laurinaitis' job, that's also trying to lure some of these guys, the NXT guys, because there's somebody that the hardcore fans love in the WWE unequivocally. I think
is that even a word?
I don't care. Okay. There's Triple H for Black and Gold NXT is independent wrestling at this current moment.
Yeah.
He owns all of, and not only that, all the people who Nick Khan who they released, they will come back if they say Triple H.
Let me ask you a question, Marcus. Let me ask you a question.
That's my dog. He believes in me.
Because this is a point that I brought up, and I want to hear your take on this one, because like when Tony Khan tried to make a funny about, him being the longest running CEO and all that good stuff. I mean, he doesn't understand that his entire roster are built on people that were in NXT that were huge fans and respected Triple H to a whole nother level.
Good point.
I'm just saying that, what's going to keep them from jumping back from AEW to go back to maybe a new direction WWE that was the NXT on the main roster. I mean, Karrion Kross might have a job again for all we know.
I would love if life did this. I would love if life was like this, but I don't feel like that's happening. I do find it. This is the question I have, gentlemen. I don't know if you guys answered this yesterday, because this affects all of wrestling, whether people like it or not. Vince McMahon's gone. This has been this has been the king. This has been the king of wrestling. This is the face of wrestling. This is the vision of wrestling. He's the biggest influence in wrestling.
Where's our Strider, damn it? Where's our Strider? We need Aragon.
Vince McMahon is there. Yeah, Vince McMahon has been there. So now that the king is out, is this AEW's opportunity to take over, or is this WWE's time to? Is this a resurrection of getting those people back? What do you guys think is gonna happen?
Let me be the devil's advocate. I think it's going to be a both, but I don't think that AEW has anything right now that they were. Let's put it this way: they're not ready for the war. They're not ready to take over. They don't have the tanks and stuff in position. I don't think they have the ability to take over the casual audience, especially after what they did this weekend on Wednesday. I think that you have a possibility of WWE to adjust and maybe create more true hardcore wrestling spots in their programming to appease to some of the disenfranchised WWE fans because of Vince, to the people like El Luchador. There's a lot of things that WWE can do to adjust their product to make people care a little bit more than what AEW can do, because AEW is just going to do AEW stuff, in my opinion. What do you say, Manny?
Well, I think it's definitely both. I think AEW need to step up their game, but with Vince gone, like people, where El Luchador kind of jokingly said this Nick Khan was there to destroy the empire. I still think if WWE don't exist, I don't think wrestling exists like on the mainstream ever again. I honestly think because Vince took it to new levels, and then if you can't step up to what the levels that Vince brought it, it's gonna fade away. It's definitely gonna fade away, and it's gonna go into that resurgence when no one cared about wrestling post in that little era after Vince bought WCW. That's when you start to notice the drop off of wrestling, like where all the views were at like 10 million a week, and then it's gradually started to drop off, and to the point where it's only like 1 million now, 1 to 2 million for Raw, certain Raws and certain Smackdowns. So I think people need to put respect on Vince's name for what he's done for the wrestling business. And I don't think Tony Khan is in any position to bring AEW to that level just yet. They are still a fresh company, so there is hope that they could, but they ain't the brand. They ain't the long-lasting brand that WWE is.
But I would say that I think every product needs a hard reset, and it's been so long since WWE had that hard reset. And I think this might be a good thing for them. Marcus, would you agree with that? And whatever other point you were going to make about that, I think this hard reset is good.
Another comparison of Vince McMahon you could do is Steve Jobs and Apple. Because, Steve Jobs and Apple just goes hand in hand. He lives his life. Eric buys all his products no matter what, even after postmortem, because that's who sold that shit. And then this is the Tim Cook era, where it just seems like all they do is rip off Samsung and stuff. They don't really do anything. I mean, I guess the tablet is fine, but it's nothing really great. It doesn't have that same energy. And I think that's the same energy that WWE's going to have for a bit, where it's just like, this is the brand. And I think, you know what? If they were ever going to sell, this is the time they're going to do it. And Disney go scoop it up. That's the only way WWE will stay in mainstream, is if that fucking mouse decides to buy them and they now are at Disneyland. Yes, man.
I just don't want you besmirching the Tim Cook era, because the M1 and the M2 are pretty revolutionary technology for the PC, the tech world, Marcus.
But it's not rocking, bro.
No, Marcus. Steve
Jobs once came on the stage holding a rock. And
Marcus. The problem with you, Marcus. The problem with you is that yes, this is obvious to what Seth Rollins said this week, is that Steve Jobs is Roman Reigns. He has all the charisma. He has all the star power. He has everything that you need to do. But however, Tim Cook is the Seth Rollins. He's going to give you all the technical advances. He's going to make all the products 100% better, but without all the glitz and glam. Unless he's going to be the villain in Jurassic World, which is still the most bizarre thing ever. That Tim Cook was kind of the villain.
I 100% disagree with that assessment whatsoever of those wrestlers. If anything, Steve Jobs is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I just know who he is, Marcus. I just want to keep it modern,
you
man. I don't want
wanna
to
go
go to the past. Mark, we're in a new day. I don't want to live in the past, my brother. I'm trying to move forward in the future.
You
In the
talk about
future.
Jurassic World though. You're not even talking about Jurassic Park Dominion or whatever the hell that
No,
latest
Jurassic
one
World's
is.
the newest movie, Marcus. That's the one I
No,
just got
it's-
finished
it's
watching
no,
last week.
Dominion. Dominion. It's the
The one
latest
I
No,
just
that's
watched
that's the
was
new
called-
Japan show.
Yes, Marcus. It's Jurassic World, Marcus. I just
No,
watched the fucking movie, Marcus.
Jurassic World came out many years ago, and I watched it. That was the original Chris Pratt movie. This one is Jurassic Park Dominion, sir. I know the movie because I'm skipping that one. That's how I know, and I skipped the last two.
You're right, Mark. It's called Jurassic World Dominion. That's what I paid and saw. My bad. There it is.
Why did you pay to see that shit?
Mark, it was shit, man. It was shit. That's all I gotta say.
All movies are shit these days. You know, no one makes the good stuff anymore.
Shit, I
But,
might
you
go
know-
use my pass and go see the Minions. God damn it! But anyway, keep going, Marcus.
Main thing about this, I think Tony Khan. And Manny, I'm going to take something from your country, as America does a lot of times. Tony Khan's a twat. And that's why.
You say. I don't know why you guys say it like
AEW
that. It sounds so weird when you say it because you say
can
twat.
you please say?
I say
Yeah,
twat.
Can I just call him a bloke? Or
No,
is that
that's not good. That's just a guy. That's just a guy. That's not. He's a twat. 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 And he is the only thing. He makes AEW so unlikable at times. And believe it or not, like a lot of stuff AEW do on a consistent basis sometimes. They're like that's such a lot of stuff.
You didn't
But there
like
are
Wednesday?
times no. But there are times where AEW hits on all different levels, and you go like, "Wow, that's a great product right there." And then Tony Khan would say something, and you just go, "What the fuck? He's an idiot." Like that's where I feel like we're at. And the one thing Vince McMahon avoided from doing, yes, there are times he did a lot of bad moves and pushed the road people and had a terrible product or whatnot. But I would never call that man a fucking idiot. Like I think he does stuff that I question and I go, that's wrong. But Tony Khan does really stupid shit. Just stupid shit.
Not even just in wrestling. He did it.
Yeah.
He did it. He did it last season when he was talking about Fulham FC, and the analyst.
We're going deep cut.
Yeah, the analyst. So do you know how he liked
the
to try?
Jaguars.
Remember when he
Yes.
came at what's Cedric's wife's name?
Big Swole.
Big Swole.
Big Swole. When he came at Big
Her
Swole,
performer name, we don't honestly know her government
El
name.
Luchador,
Yeah.
he is not a criminal. He is a sex fiend. It is a difference.
yeah, when
Yeah,
he
he
came
could
at
be a
Big Swole,
criminal
he came at the performance of the team publicly, and he's the director of football. And then the analyst was like, he's a clown. And then first of all went, who is he? And then the presenter had to explain who he was. And it was like, yeah, sometimes there's a way of going about things. You shouldn't really just slam your whole product in front of everyone and make it look bad. And he has a constant habit of making things look bad when all he could have done was keep his mouth shut.
But like to me, Tony Khan is a tool, but he's not the biggest tool in professional wrestling. The biggest tool in professional wrestling to me that deserves a Gunther chop for being awful at their job and doing
He
and
needs more than that.
that is
I
the
already know.
dirt sheets. The dirt sheets are by far the worst things in
that's not-
professional wrestling, and by far they proved it this week. Like right after the retirement announcement of Vince McMahon, it was a
can I
report
jump
that
in?
came
I
out in
want
the
to jump
dirt
in real quick
sheets.
before you say this. Can I jump in?
I'm trying to get this fucking show out early, Marcus.
Yeah, we've been 30 minutes, but the dirt sheets are not the worst thing in wrestling. The worst thing in wrestling is the Ryback. Please God. And the dirt sheets reporting on whatever Ryback says. That is
So
the
they're
worst.
responsible. But the dirt sheets reported that Brock Lesnar walked out on SmackDown. And the greatest thing about him walking out on SmackDown, maybe he just needed to get some fresh air because he was emotional and he didn't want people to see him cry about Vince leaving. But instead, he walked out and said, if Vince ain't here, I ain't fucking working here.
That is gold.
And then next thing you know, it became that WWE is in a panic. They're calling people to break glass in the emergency that Goldberg was going to be floated to be at SummerSlam to fight. And then at the end of SmackDown, guess who showed up? The Brock Daddy. He showed up and he did what he needed to do. Marcus, for 1 second, I know you was asleep doing out this entire period, Mark, but did you believe that Brock was gone? Because I didn't at all.
Well, this is how things worked in my world. It went Brock Lesnar walks out of WWE. Brock Lesnar F5 Austin Theory. I go, oh, I guess that was a moment. I wonder how much did people panic, and I realized it was a lot. It was a lot of speculation going on, but I believe that maybe something similar did happen, and maybe Big Daddy Vince, as he was known as he liked to be known as, now that he's retired. Cat Daddy Vince said, "Come on, Brock, man up." But I always like when the dirt sheets are completely wrong on stuff, and I think also the WWE / Vince McMahon was like, "I will pay you $2 million, Brock, to just show up on SmackDown and tell these motherfuckers to shut up. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn just because they gonna report some shit."
No, do you know the thing I loved was the numerous images that came up of that very moment when Sasha Banks and Naomi walked out on Raw, and then on the SmackDown you had Pat McAfee and Michael Cole image of like, yes, what they did was very unprofessional, and like, I hope they bring the same energy to Brock Lesnar when when SmackDown
I heard all
starts.
that
I was
like,
like,
about
go
being
fuck
unprofessional.
yourself.
I was like, damn, dog, y'all. I was like, when I read that, and this is no offense to women who may get their panties in a bunch, but I was like, damn, dog, y'all got y'all panties in a bunch. Like, why y'all hold this to, like, are you guys holding that to your chest that deep at WWE about what happened about Sasha and Naomi called unprofessional, that you're that upset about that? I was like, man, you gotta get a real life, man. Wrestling ain't that important. If it affects you that much, you might want to walk away. That's all I gotta say. Just walk away.
Again, like when people do compare stuff to compare, that's my number one thing. As you guys know, I have comment fever or whatever.
You do, Marcus. You get caught up in some shit.
I don't know what's wrong with me, but every now and then I like to just put out one fact and then it spirals into a random conversation.
No, you love
that goes on for like 2 days. I like the truth to be out there, Manny. I like the truth to be out there. And I enjoy the argument. I enjoy winning these arguments too, because no one ever has a good rebuttal. Like, I hate when people compare shit to other shit. Like, so the main story of what I did, I said, I honestly forgot what the question was on that one. But someone was like, well, were you happy that Liv Morgan beat? Oh, it was about the Orange Cassidy and Wardlow thing when I was like, I compared it to Star Wars. I was like, that's like Darth Vader losing to 3PO or Jar Jar Binks or struggling with them. And somebody was like, well, I didn't like the way Liv Morgan beat Ronda Rousey. And then, first of all, Ronda was injured and they sold that part of it. And third, I didn't say I liked that part either. That could also be bad. Just because you compare something to something else, don't make it two wrongs make a right. Like the other person right. Well, my argument is valid because you like this. No, it don't. So when it comes to dirt sheets, the same energy and comparing shit, it's so stupid. So yes, if Brock Lesnar would have walked out and cried because Vince McMahon was gone, it would have been unprofessional, and he would have been a cry baby. I would never call that man that to his face, but he would have been a wham cry baby because your dad left or whatever the hell was going on in that situation, or he was upset about the woke culture or the woke culture. And so it would have both been unprofessional. I don't understand why they just both couldn't be unprofessional. Why? Oh, do you have that same energy? I do.
The interesting thing about it is like another comment that I enjoyed seeing coming up with the retirement announcement of Vince McMahon was like, no, that little bitch Austin Theory ain't gonna get the push because Vince is no longer around. And I'm like, I hate to let you know, Austin Theory is here to stay. He may be the future, because I must admit that what they did on SmackDown with him and Riddick Moss, I'm like, I get it. I think they need. I normally don't do this because I'm normally against.
He's a madcap.
Yeah, I'm normally against WWE taking away people's first name, but can we just call him Moss? I would prefer if he was just called Moss, personally. Not Madcap, but just Moss. And shout out to Baron Corbin booting the shit out of Pat McAfee, but Pat McAfee still doing his job. Shit.
The best boot in wrestling was when Lash Legend took out Nikita Lyons.
By the way, Lash Legend is someone I don't talk about ever since I saw her weak ass handles, Manny. I'm sorry, she can never be the best at anything until she get her handles together. You were in the WNBA, damn it, the elite of the elite in women's sports. and yet you can't have dribble. You can't dribble. I'm done with you.
I just want to let you guys also know that I have submitted my resignation. I am no longer a supporter of Briggs and Jensen. They can go to hell. They can.
Wow, why?
You know, this week was it. It was a Strada when he wore cut off jeans. I said I couldn't take it. That was it. I mean, it was
the Darby Allin effect.
bad enough that we were in that bar that they had where they don't welcome people of different beliefs and stuff like that. Because when Pretty Deadly walked in, they did not like them. So I can only imagine what would happen if Marcus and I walked in. But when that man came out there in them cut off jeans, he ruined a good pair of jeans, and he looked like a damn fool because they were skinny jeans. I said no, never again. Let's go, Pretty Deadly.
Those guys are trash. Pat McAfee and Baron Corbin. Right now, to me,
that's fucked up, El Luchador. That's fucked up.
Best feud in all wrestling. I don't even know what he said. Best feud in all wrestling. I think honestly, I feel like this is the only legit feud where two people actually seem like they hate each other because he got him on the back again. Pat was like, "The fuck, this punk ass motherfucker ain't gonna get me laying down," and did that look and then chased him up the ramp. And then he went for the chair shot, and then they brought in the back, and Pat was like, he ain't ruined my day. I'm coming back to do commentary. I want this. They made this better. They made this better. Yes, Eric is anti-George. John Cena can get away with it because he didn't cut the bottom of his shorts.
He bought him. He bought him as George. They had the inseam sewn at the end.
Wait, but on the scale of male booty shorts, Eric, Darby Allin, you okay?
You know what, Mark? Let me tell you something.
You
Darby
okay?
Allin,
Grew on you.
Darby Allin earned my respect this week because he had the only thing in AEW that I liked this week. He had
So, did you have any problem with the Maximum Male Models tennis collection?
Manny, it's fashion, Manny. It's fashion. I will never understand fashion. Can we also give a shout out to the best moment in wrestling this week? And it had to be Ludwig Kaiser thinking that he was getting away.
Oh, he thought he was safe.
Let me tell you something. When Gunther chopped him, I yelled out, "Oh shit!" Shantae said, "Are you okay?" She thought I had died again. I was like, "No." Gunther chopped the shit out of him, and I didn't see that shit.
Well,
I saw it coming, but I wasn't ready.
When you slowed it down, you saw the wind up of the hand, and I was like, "Oh god."
Yeah. My favorite part of that, Gunther seems like his daddy, abusive mother or father to their son. It's like, oh yeah, I shouldn't have had to get involved in that though. I shouldn't have had to get involved.
Exactly.
I shouldn't have to be doing your homework for you. And then kind of look up, but I won. Like it was not in English, but I understood everything.
I understood everything.
I won. And then it was like, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you. Kind of like, oh, what a relief. Daddy isn't going to hit me again, but you motherfucker have me get involved. You should have made quick work of Shin. Nakamura's out of shape. You see he's covering his stomach up. What you doing? Fat bastard.
It's like when you bring home a bee to Asian household. Or you tell them you're not a doctor anymore, or you're never going to be a doctor. What?
Mom, I want to pursue culinary arts. The fuck you do?
Fuck you do, Mom. I want to be a musical artist.
Why are we all piling on a luchador?
Huh?
I wear skinny jean shorts, but I'm also a hipster. Also, I've been told.
Wes, believe it or not,
a lot.
Let me tell you something. I think Ludwig.
Where are your shorts? I don't honestly care what shirt people wear. I said it with Darby Allin because he was a skinny nothing, and then all of a sudden that motherfucker grew on me out of respect, out of that he's willing to throw himself down some stairs. And honestly, he is a very talented wrestler. As I said earlier on the Untitled Manny and Marcus show, that's the way a little man should fight a big man in a match. That's the way. That's how you do it. It wasn't Orange Cassidy and Wardlow. This is a Darby Allin Brody King. That was a good big man, little man match where the underdog just threw his body at him numerous times. Failed on a couple, but you see the fighting spirit, and I feel like that sold everything so much more.
And Wes,
no, go ahead. I'm done.
Wes, I was gonna say I think Ludwig and Vinny are both off very well. I think they're both in very good problem. I think Vinny Vinci's spot where he was pissed that Chase U's truck was in his way. I got places to go. Fuck. And he didn't take a picture with that bitch.
There
He
was
knew better.
there was enough room for him to drive around that bus.
It was. But Manny, why drive around and
No,
take
it
the
wasn't.
chance of
No, it
ruining your
wasn't.
car?
Hold on, goddammit. No, it wasn't, Manny. I am a bad driver. This is not a shock to anybody. Hold on. This is not a shock to anybody. I am a bad driver. I would have been in my car going, can I? And I try. I back up. Oh, I don't want to hit nothing.
If you ever see Marcus' car, it's the one with the scratched up hubcaps.
So first and foremost, I also concur with Marcus
stuff.
being a bad driver because I'm also a bad driver. I'm a person who will willingly wait in my car instead of taking a chance to try to get out of a situation that I don't think I can do. I don't take the risk. Now, you know who the risk taker is? Sharpie wife. She just don't care. No regard for human life or safety or vehicles on the road. No regard. There's none.
I mean, her rule is, I remember we were driving and there was a stop sign. Someone had the right of way at the stop sign, but they let somebody else go front, and she was like, "Oh, his politeness gonna get somebody killed." And I went, "Oh."
Hey,
I think we need to get her on the show to just discuss this as like a group therapy session.
Can I ask a question for you guys? I mean, how soon will it be before we get a skit in WWE programming where it's someone going to visit Vince McMahon in the retirement home? Because that's what I need in my wrestling. Like we're gonna.
I need Mankind to return.
Yeah, like Vince in the retirement home. Yeah, it just.
Well, I know. Monday is the 20th anniversary of Rey Mysterio, but you know, Madison Square Garden is that's Vince's second home. That's
WWE's home.
Yeah, I feel like Mysterio, Rey, my friend, legendary wrestler,
bad father,
famer, bad father, and all that representation. I think we should bump that shit and say it's Vince McMahon Appreciation Day for one last time before that man is canceled, probably Thursday when someone releases something else. I'm just saying.
If this is Vince finally getting fulfilled his dream of blowing himself up in the limo that he did the sex scandal, just wait for somebody to break it so he can blow himself up.
I wish they played that on SmackDown. I wish they played that on SmackDown.
Yeah. By the way, sources close to the West said Rick McMahon will be at Ric Flair's last match.
Oh yeah, and finally, Johnny Ace is gone. John Laurinaitis was let go, but we all knew that was coming. It's a new day. I would say the next 6 months in WWE would be very interesting to see exactly what takes place and see how the wheels fall. We'll see.
Yeah, you know, I know I'm not a person to advocate someone getting fired. I mean, I have numerous times, but can I be the one to fire Kevin Dunn? Can I be the one? Can I be the one to go and just cut away? I want to be like, and then show 80 crowd reactions. Fire, crowd reaction, cut away. Yeah. Oh, you're fired. You are fired. Oh. Ah!
Well, so let me ask a question, because clearly you don't like Kevin Dunn and his cutaway, but
he's the worst.
But I also am disappointed in AEW because they always miss shit. Like they always miss the important shot, and then they don't have a replay angle set up for the shot that I just missed.
Well, I think both sides can improve their camera work. I feel like the AEW do miss a lot of spots. I still don't know. There was one match. There was a 8-man. I think Darby jumped on somebody, and they never showed the footage of what happened. They never showed. There was no angle of it, and I feel like Darby damn near died for no reason.
Yeah, because at least with Kevin Dunn's over obnoxious cuts, they could always go back. Well, this is what you guys missed because we had cut to a fair reaction for no good reason.
Yeah, we have other cameras. I feel like AEW is missing some camera somewhere.
So on the latest episode of Roy's Retro where Eric was on, there was a cut where they completely missed a move where Edge did a run in.
Yes, Mark Mero.
Did like a downward spiral or something on Mark Mero, but they were too busy focused looking at Sable. So they missed the move, and then when they came back to go, oh, this is what you missed. This is the move Edge did. Marcus, it was the worst camera footage. It was like they took this side of my screen and then zoomed into it, and then you still couldn't see what the move was.
Yeah, and that was the moment when Vince McMahon was like, "Damn it, we need 800 more cameras."
You know
I
what's
don't
funny?
know how we have cell phone footage in 1998 when cell phones weren't around. They used LeBron's flip phone for footage for Edge's spot.
I know we're about to wrap up this show, but I would point out that one thing on SmackDown that I also enjoyed. I thought that Jeff Jarrett being on there felt right. I don't know why JEFFJARRETT was right. I just felt I was happy to see him. He was dressed for his role. Man needed a job, and he was like, "I'm here to,
Eric, the man suggested he's willing to take bribes.
Manny," which makes me happier that he's still staying true to his character. We know who Jeff Jarrett is.
Well, the main thing you want to do is not piss him off, okay? That's the main thing you want to do. My whole thing about this ridiculous Jeff Jarrett referee in a match, the thing that made me laugh internally as I was watching him do this interview, I was like, Jeff, I don't care what you say, just say it. Just say what I need you to say. JEFF, JARRETT. And when he said it, it was like a relief went over my body. I don't know why.
Also, this is the last thing I'm going to say. I do enjoy Paul Heyman revealing the plan to destroy Austin Theory and beat him up after the match. Austin Theory walking out on the bloodline to decide, wait, I have a chance to get another W in my bucket. Let me go win this match. I don't understand what happened right there, but that's what took place.
Well, the Usos said we'd beat that ass.
Yeah, but then he's still like, I'm going to get that win, though.
I like that Raw Smackdown had the audacity to give us this 6-man tag when they advertised on Raw. Kill it into Raw when you get the exact same 6-man tag. Except for instead of Riddick Moss, you get Riddle, which is just another person with a name R.
Hey,
that's
Marcus,
literally the exact same match.
Hey, Mark, we could have hung somebody up in the shark cage, but even that didn't work for that main event for you. People hanging in the shark cage can make that main event work.
Oh no, I'm gonna not actually touch on that, and I'm not gonna say that was the worst segment of the week. You know, there was moments in that match where I was like, okay, this is okay. It could be the worst. It's not the worst thing ever. Some people are blowing out proportion. The worst thing ever, Eric, and I'm gonna say this: Bearcat Keith Lee, the Cake, Swerve Scott, and Smart Mark. So that celebration, and then you had Kevin Gates lay out Tony Nese. Like,
I mean, can I be real? Hey, can I be real? Can I be real? Let me be quite honest. AEW, camera on me. Kevin Gates ain't big enough to be laying out your professional wrestlers. Sorry, he ain't got one platinum hit that I don't think of. But still, he ain't big enough. Why you do that to Tony?
Are you suggesting Tony Nese was right about his music being trash?
Okay. Yeah, Eric, what rapper do you think is big enough to you say, all right, I'll let this rapper lower? Because Flow Rider got to push Keith Slater, okay?
Marcus, Flow Rider has multiple hits at number one, Marcus, whether you like him or not.
Fuck him.
He got multiple hits, Marcus.
I would take Kevin Gates.
People got a sub with Flow Rider.
All right. So are you giving Hugh Jackman credit for knocking out Dolph Ziggler?
Oscar winner. Oscar, he won a fucking Oscar.
Yeah, you do got.
I'm sorry, Marcus. Like there's levels to this shit. Kevin Gates is not that guy.
You can't. Okay, go ahead.
Eric explained Jermaine Dupri coming out with Stokely.
Why were all these rappers here?
See, Jermaine Dupri is something bigger. He made Crisscross. He got a lot of the Brat. He got a lot of hits. If he would have knocked out Tony Nese, maybe, but he's a little man. I'm just saying that.
I'm going to agree with El Luchador, though. That was a good punch. I like that he pulled.
It was a good punch, but like now you got to release Tony Nese so he can be unemployed, right?
Which Dupri do you acknowledge? Jermaine Dupri or Max Dupri?
Well, so quite frankly, it'll be Jermaine Dupri. I mean, for multiple reasons. I mean, he has a lot of hits, man. A lot of hits. Hits.
Well, in
so many hits.
Jermaine Dupri's bucket list, he does have jump with the Chris to the Cross. But I would also like to add he has Welcome to Atlanta, which spurred off to a million different remixes and bunch of stuff. And on his resume, he has Fuck Janet Jackson.
And then on top of that, if you're under the age of 16, more than likely he can make you a platinum artist because he did that for Bow Wow. And with that, we're gonna wrap up this show because we don't really have nothing else to talk about.
We can talk about Bow Wow when this. How dare you talk about Bow Wow when this man is playing basketball? ball.
Hey, I got some quick hits.
Marcus, but Manny got things to do.
Yeah, but a show was supposed to be an hour. But
Go ahead with your quick hits, Marcus.
Quick hits, Eric. I want your thoughts on Axiom on NXT and his hallucinogenic entrance and black mask, and the everybody accusing him of stealing.
Well, I mean, it was, to me, the first thing I said, because you kind of spoiled it for me. He was like, oh, but did you see Axiom entrance? And I was like, oh, no. And then I saw it. I was like, damn, this is like me watching The Flash. And it made me think back, shit, I got to finish that series because I don't know what happened.
They don't. It's like 20 seasons too many.
I know it is, but like, because they ended the arrow, but they didn't. And I was like, damn. Like it was cool because I'm not familiar with the A-Kid. I thought it was a good luchador style match for WWE, but the problem is luchador matches don't go that far in WWE, so it'll be very interesting to see where they take the kid going forward.
All right. Next, Cora Jade and her heel turn complete, and the return of Zoe Stark.
I think the return of Zoe Stark is bigger because she's so young, but she's old at the same time. But she's actually a solid performer. She looked
younger this time.
Yeah, but I think the thing about Cora Jade, she looked a little bit more comfortable as a heel. However, the problem with that is that she's still 19, and you could tell she's still figuring out how to play a character. So, I mean, but, I really enjoyed what they did building up for the Battle Royal with all the women getting points to talk and things like that. And then the Battle Royal still having beef carry over from Lash Legend, still hating Nakia Lyons, but Fire still not liking Lash. It's a lot of stories that are going on. Keep them coming, Marcus. Are they all NXT related?
They're kind of, because, I kind of just said fuck AEW this week. It exhausted me.
It was like one segment AEW. One segment.
Yeah.
First segment.
I would give them 2 or 3. I enjoy FTR. I have nothing bad to say about that.
I didn't really care about FTR.
He got emotional talking about his kids and stuff.
I was more concerned about with Miro because he was wearing those 2-tone shades. Is he with them or is he not with them?
And they sell Death Before Dishonor. I thought, did Claudio's winning? I honestly don't care, but that's not the question. My next question is, Eric, and this is as real as question's gonna be. You and Manny are having a match. Me and Ryan get jumped in the back. Are you still gonna try to pick up your win?
Are you talking about
I'm talking about Roddy. I'm talking about Roddy.
Marcus? Roddy.
The man that wants to quit.
Let me tell you something.
And
First of all,
because he put on matches like that.
Let me tell you something. First and foremost, put respect on the dude's brother. That was a really good match with him and Roddy. I really enjoyed what was going on.
Damon Kemp. Yeah.
I can't remember his name.
Damon Stevens has done nothing in this business. And yet you call David Kemp his brother. David Kemp might be the next suplex machine.
I will point out that is why Roddy was the leader of the Diamond Mine, because no matter what is going down, you still get that win. You drop that knee, and I'm going to point out, what the story is going to be. I can already call it. He paid for that ass whooping. He paid Tony and his boys to whoop the ass of the Creed brothers.
You didn't answer the question. Are you going for the win, or are you going to run and save Marcus and Ryan?
I'm going for the win. They grown-ass men. They know how to handle themselves. They should never been jumped in the first place.
We're getting beat up by a multi-dimensional mafia that's cartel/mafia.
And guess what? The money that I win from winning the match and going to the pay window will help heal those wounds, Marcus. They will help heal those wounds.
You're keeping them to himself. Roddy keeping it himself. He's unhappy. I'm sorry. There's one more question, Eric.
Sorry, Manny. I tried.
I know. This is the end. The dyad. What that new look? No facial hair.
Let me point out, man.
Cane eye.
As you know, I've been a longtime fan of the grizzled young veterans. And quite frankly, I have never seen them win on NXT American TV. So quite frankly, I don't think they've ever won in America.
Very far in between. Very far in between.
Quite frankly, I'm happy with the refresh. I think that Joe Gacy may be a good person to lead, but I was more intrigued with Joe Gacy trying to get into the head of Cameron Grimes. That's where I'm more intrigued with. Like,
one eye though, Eric.
Marcus, the thing is,
not now. Not now. Not now.
Yeah, that was my thing. Not now. Not now.
Yeah, I mean, people keep asking why, Marcus. It goes back to why do they keep fucking with me? That's what Cameron felt like in that situation. But if it gets them a win next week, then it was worth it.
NXT is the most ridiculous show. Surgery with JD McDonough. I'm out of terror attendant, and he'll becoming a doctor in drawing shit.
So first and foremost, I never knew that they had whiteboard bodies that you could walk with a marker.
You mean a mannequin? That's all that was, Eric.
It's a mannequin. I didn't know.
You never knew they had mannequins.
I didn't know they had mannequins that you could write with expo markers. I didn't know that.
You can do that with anything, Eric. You can write on anything with markers.
Not expo markers. Dry erase markers is a difference, Mark. You can't write on everything with dry erase boards. I've tried.
You don't know if that was
not now, Marcus. We gotta go. Not now. Not now, Marcus. Thank you for watching. I'm Eric.
I'm Lord Manny Hayes.
And I'm Goldberg coming back for one more match.
Now, Marcus. We don't need that from you. We don't need that
from you. Not now.
Not now. Not now, not then, not forever.
Not now. Leave me alone.
Oh, thank you, Vince.
Shout out to the barbershop. Shout out to the barbershop for being entertaining as always.
Oh, shout the Trick talking about his hose. Like, I had that fine one, then I had that one, and then his hair was fucked up. But not now. We gotta go. We out.
Not now. Not now.